Hello, my gorgeous ones, once again. If you weren't, of course, totally put off by my 2-hour-long live this morning, welcome back for a little bit more information. So, what we are going to go through in this live, I'm going to be explaining a little bit more about Horriance and the abilities on that fabulous spreadsheet that I have been pushing out there in Frequency 51. We are also going to go through entity, programs, and source fractals. What are the difference between these guys? Hi, Jamie. Thanks for watching. Hi, everybody who's joined me so far. I'm then going to go through using my energy. So if you are borrowing my energy, because you know I give it out there freely, what can you expect? What are some consequences? How can you use my energy wisely to get what you need out of this? What to do and what not to do. Because of course some information recently has been made come to my attention, and I'm like, oh shit, I really should let people know about this. And lastly, we have from our beautiful Amishtal Jessica. She has shared a question with us about, basically it's about what's going to happen to a source fractal when they do fall from grace. I'm paraphrasing. She has a hell of a lot better of questions here, but we're going to go through those kinds of bits. So firstly, I know I have Horriance and the abilities and so forth, and I didn't have my energy until the third point, but I'm actually going to pop that up to the top, and I'm just going to talk about my energy and using it and what to expect from it as well. So and the reason, again, I want to get this one out there specifically is just because I do not want to be the cause of anybody's ill will, right, when they are using my energy. So I just kind of want to go through that really quickly. Now, as we know, I give my energy to everybody. All you have to do is accept it. If you accept it and you acknowledge it, it's yours. I tell people to use my energy for anything they want. You know, use it for manifestation, use it for healing, use my energy. All you have to do is say, hey, Kulipup, just literally say out loud, Kulipup, can you help me with this? And I'll give it to you. My energy hears it. When you physically speak the name Kulipup, you are summoning my energy, because that is a vibrational frequency that you would only know if I gave it to you or if you heard it. Right? So when you speak it intentionally thinking of my energy, it's yours. However, my energy is super, super high. Okay? Really, really high. I can wield a hell of a lot of stuff in the ethereal. Now, what are some pros and cons of this? Okay? I'll go through the pros and cons first. The pros first. When you request my energy, when you accept my energy, or if I've made a post saying, hey, if you need healing today, just type that you accept and it's yours, you know? That is the benefit. You can use my energy for healing. You can use my energy for manifestation. If you're like, shit, I really need a new car, or I really need something. I really want this entity to go away. I really want clarity in my mind. I want to stop smoking. You know, you can call on my energy to use that. So manifesting with it. You can call on my energy for protection. Right? If you feel that you are not strong enough to protect yourself from anything in the ethereal, call on my energy to do that. All right? I've got no issue. I've got so much. I'm happy to give it to you. Right? And I'm happy to slay a few freaking entities while I'm at it. Right? You can use my energy as well when you truly need healing. Now, I know I said healing, but I mean like physical healing too, if only you sit still and let it happen, you know? And you can use my energy to help yourself help others with it, to activate your abilities, to strengthen your abilities. You know, if you're like, Kulipup, please lend me your energy so I can feel my empathy more intensely in this moment. And literally a light version of Kulipup will literally show up next to you, and I'll place my hand on your shoulder and I'll lend you my energy for that reason. So you get all this cool stuff with it. However, what are the consequences? Now, you can do all of that. However, if you call on my energy and you use my name for ill intentions, you will not get anything good out of this, okay? My energy is love energy. It goes into healing, it goes into manifestations. All are within this now moment and all use the universal love energy, okay? So if you are using my energy, if you are calling my name and saying, Kulipup, can you give me your energy so I can smite this person? You know, if you wish ill on an individual using my name, my energy will not be used in that way. It will literally convert and put that ill will on you. Okay? And I don't want that. If you use my name and I'm sorry, this is the best way I can explain it, but if you use my name in vain, if you say Kulipup, F you, or Kulipup, I can't stand what you do, I wish you pain, or I wish you something like that, you will become sick. Okay? I have to put it out there. You will become sick. I don't want you to be sick. All right? The reason why I'm saying this now is because of my live this morning. I was being called to go deeper into this situation with the individuals specifically. And one of those individuals used my name in vain. They called upon my energy and used it and was not wary of how they were using it. So it caused them pain. And I was like, oh shit, I tell people don't use my energy for anything negative. But that also, I failed to mention that you really shouldn't use my energy if you are trying to smite me. Or if you are trying to convert that or use my name, like, they say, like, don't use the Lord's name in vain or anything like that. But I'm just like, if you want to wish ill on me, please use a different name. Just don't use Kulipup. To be honest with you, I could have the entire world wish ill on me and it wouldn't matter. Right? It literally wouldn't matter at all to me. However, if you are frustrated with me or anything that I've said or I'm giving you confusion, just please do not say Kulipup, F you, or anything like that, because that will literally convert to you. Just be like, the lady in frequency 51, F you. Do that. If you need to express yourself that way, do it that way, please. I just don't want anything to happen to you. It is very difficult when you are putting so much energy into things, and I know people can get frustrated at times. Things can be difficult at times. And I know when you are gaining information, when you are being taught something, sometimes the lessons are really hard, so it's easy to become frustrated, and it's easy to say things that you may not either mean in that moment or that it doesn't, or whatever, right? You just say things. However, just please don't put Kulipup first in that sentence. Call me whatever else you want to call me. Just don't say Kulipup when you are doing it. No negativity, because that is going to go right back to you. And then it's going to hurt my heart when I wake up and feel the pain that you are going through because you use my energy in vain. Or you use my name in vain. So, please, I just wanted to put that out there, okay? So when you use my energy, call upon my name, do it for only good things. So that only good things can come to you. That is what I request. All right? And just don't use my name in any vain. All right. So I got that one out of the bits. Now let's go on to some of the good stuff. So what I wanted to go through is, of course, Horriance and the abilities that I had located on the spreadsheet, because I know there's going to be new members or people who are just engaged and they're like, what is this? And I know so many individuals have been Googling, what is Horriance? So firstly, I'd like to remind everybody that the information that I get is source truth information. I haven't used Google for a long time, besides to get pictorial references. Because I do go on Google and I'll look up like anatomy of the human body so I can get the formal term for whatever vein or blood vessel that I'm astral projecting into for healing. But other than that, I don't use Google. So a lot of the things that you hear me talk about, some can be found online, And there's going to be things that are just like, nope, they're nowhere to be found. Horriance is one of them. But let's go through the abilities that we have here. So every single individual is going to, that is in this group anyway, is going to be getting their physical frequency, whether they are cognizant, clairvoyant, clairsentient, empathic, Horriant, and their Kenisi element. So which element do they relate to more? Okay, in category and subcategory, of course. So let's go through this, and this is of course for the more newer members. Those of you who already know what these are, then you may want to, you may not be interested in this section, but anyway. Please ask questions if you feel like I'm not explaining it, or you still have more, you're just like, hey, wait, I'm still confused on this. Please ask questions. I'm here to answer them today. So firstly, if you are cognizant, okay, if you've seen on your chart that you are cognizant, it means that you are basically hooked up to the ethereal Google. I like to call it that way, or I like to call it that. But basically what it means is that you are able to read any energy that is within existence. And you are able to pull information from this energy. So if you think of the universal energy, or everything that goes within the universe, right? Because energy is information, or information is energy, whichever way you wanna. It's like chicken or the egg, which came first kind of thing. Either way, it doesn't matter. Energy is information. So if you can read energy, it means that you can read anything and have knowledge on it. So cognizance, again, if you are an individual who doesn't know something, all you have to do is read the energy. If I want to go fix a car, and if I really want to put the energy into focusing on it, because I don't do cars, I don't do anything, I know nothing about cars because I'm not interested in it. However, if my car was broken and I wanted to fix it, what I would do is I would focus my energy on that, and I would ask the universal energy, what's the problem? Right? And then the carburetor needs replacing will just pop up into my head. Right? And then I'll check out the carburetor, and then there you go, it needs replacing. So I can go fix it. Another way you use cognizance is you ask any question that you want. A lot of individuals who are healers, who are information gatherers as well, or scribes, these kinds of individuals, they're normally quite cognizant, right? As a healer, how do I use my cognizance? Well, when I do a body scan on you, basically my cognizance, I go, okay, well, what's wrong here? So I'll start at the top, right? And I'll feel the negative energy going through your body, but then I'll just be like, well, what is that negative energy? I'll read it with my cognizance, and then the information just gets poured through to me, right? So if you are cognizant, no doubt you are an individual who has been sought out for advice quite often, you know, because you're not in the situations. However, you magically seem to always give great advice where people are like, yeah, that's really logical. Yeah. And it's because you're reading the universal energy and it's just coming right back to you. And it just happens to be right because all of the universal energy is just that. It's information. It's right there for you. So that is what happens when you are cognizant. It is called clear inner knowing. Claircognizance. Clear inner knowing. Clear inner knowing. Alrighty. Then we have clairvoyancy. Okay. So that's the next one. Now, if you are a clairvoyant individual, it means that you can see into the past, present, future, and other dimensions. Right? It's really, really cool. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of other abilities that stem from clairvoyancy, like divination, dowsing, you know, wax reading, tea leaf reading, these kinds of things. They all come, like voyancy is part of that because it's what you are seeing, right? So if you have this ability, you are able to literally see into the ethereal, meaning you can see spirits, you can see entities, you can go back into past lives and see the whole scenario of a past life. You no doubt have very vivid dreams. You know, when your mind is calm, you're going to be able to see a lot of things crystal clear and remember well, we all have to work on our memory, but no doubt we'll remember things in a very strong detail, right? Whereas And I'll put it this way. If I'm cognizant and I'm reading the universal energy, the words get put into my head, right? And I act on them. However, if I'm clairvoyant, it means the image is put in. Sorry about that. It means the image is then put back into my head, right? Jessica, Ethereal Google. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ethereal Google. It's freaking awesome. Anyway. Sorry, Jessica, you say, oh, hi, Susan, sweetheart. Jessica, you say, energy is information. Through its vibration, it connects us all. Exactly. Because we are energy. Every single bloody thing in this universe is energy. So you also ask, why do certain people have some abilities and not others? Well, it depends on your vibration, right? It depends on your vibration. If clairvoyancy vibrates at a certain level, right? If clairvoyancy vibrates at this level, and you vibrate very close to clairvoyancy, it means that you're most likely going to be a very strong, the closer you are to that vibration, the stronger that ability. However, if I'm a cognizant individual, and I'm not really clairvoyant, well, don't get me wrong, I am clairvoyant, I astral project all the time, but I'm just saying, overall. So if cognizance is a different vibration, it's over here, and my vibration is like vibrating over here, and clairvoyancy is over here, it doesn't mean that I can't get this vibration, it just means that it's a little harder, I have to work harder to find this vibration. And that's why you have some people who are really good at clairvoyancy versus others who struggle with clairvoyancy and are really good at something else because they vibrate very similarly to that. So that's what we got there. Nikki, that's me. Oh, yes, it is. Nikki, my dreams deal with what's going on in this earth. Right, though? That's what I'm saying. Clairvoyancy is some good stuff, right? It's really cool. So Jessica, so essentially anyone can adapt certain abilities with the right frequency. Bingo! Exactly, Jessica. The list, like literally what I've placed on this list is just where you vibrate closest. You know, everybody has every ability, or you have the ability to literally master every single ability out there. So if I've put you down that you're clairvoyant, but you're not cognizant, that does not mean that you don't have, or the ability to be cognizant. It just means that you're going to have to work much harder to get up to that vibration, or to get to that vibration. And that's why the point of this spreadsheet was so I can match people with their ability that vibrates at the closest range, so that you're not trying so hard over here to match it, so that you would flourish and develop a lot faster. Okay, so Nikki, I had a dream of the Earth giving birth to another planet. Yeah, boom! Oh, wonderful! Yes, there was a question about this, and it's truth. It is truth. It is in a metaphorical kind of way, but we are in the status of being reborn. All of us. This is evolution. This is what's happening. There is no more of this 3D negativity crap going on. We are shifting and we are evolving. And the new dawn is coming. It is. And it's one where we are free of this pain. Because I'm bloody well sick of it. And don't get me wrong, changing the entire world takes a little bit of time, but 8 years. 8 years is what we're looking at. No, 7 years now. We're accelerating even more. That's wonderful. Okay, Susan, can't remember what I have. Looking forward to your list. Yes, Susan, don't worry. It's going to take me a minute. Again, 21 hours is what is required to complete this list for all of the members. So I'm going to really try to give it a good few hours every day, but woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I should have done this from the beginning, so now I've waited until we're 500 strong. Jessica, fantastic. I've had other psychics tell me certain abilities would never be mine or for me. Yeah, nah. I tell you this, if I have the ability, so do you. And there's no ability that I don't have. There's abilities that I need to work on, don't get me wrong, but that's just about if I put my focus on there, right? That's just basically it. And all I have to do is put my focus on it and bang, we're there, right? So if I can do it, you can do it. Like literally, if all of our energy is one, if that part of my energy has been able to develop this, then that means that development is spread out to everybody. So it is now a part of the universal energy, meaning that once that frequency is found, you can find it too. You just have to try. That's all. So let's have a look here. Sentience. If you are clairsentient, it means that you can feel the flow of energy going through the universe. Now, how does that, you may think like, how the frick do I use sentience? Well, you use sentience for manifestation, for one. You use sentience to feel who is around you or what is around you in the ethereal, which is very good if you are a warrior and you vanquish a lot of negative shit. It's very good to be able to feel it so you can identify where it is, right? If you, oh, sorry, let's add it. Susan, bless you. Oh, bless you, sweetie. Jessica, because I've experienced all, however, some were false at the time when I experienced a stage 1 possession and entities presented them, but they weren't mine. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can experience so many of your abilities. And the thing is, if we think that they're a false alarm, they would have been a false alarm. Now, I would love to go into a little bit more detail with that experience, my sweetheart. This is for Jessica. But, again, we're going to save that for another video. But yeah, no, you can experience all of these abilities. That is at one point or another. It depends on your thought frequency at the time. Where are you within your frequency, right? Will give you access to whichever ability is there, right? So it's really cool. So, sentience. Yes, sentience. Susan, that is you, definitely. So, again, feeling the universal energy. And it's like I mentioned, I had to put a sweatshirt on because I'm really cold. And I turned my heating up. But, so sentience is what allows me, like, for example, if I'm moving my arms, if you see me, I'm literally shaking my arm. It's because I can feel the pressure of the energies enveloping my arm. So when I'm being guided, if I want to know the flow to a sequence in meditation, yoga, or kung fu, or something like that, all I have to do is feel the energy, because it's literally going to guide me. No. See, I'm lifting my leg. Oh, up. There we go. So that was a basic demonstration. I'm not gonna, you're probably like, all you did was lift your leg, which is true. But what I was feeling at the time was my leg was being pulled up because the energy beneath it was just going, nope, go up. And then the energy was flowing my leg to the side, right? Now just think of what you can do with that in your everyday life. And the best way I can explain it is Domino, right? She's a superhero from the Deadpool series, or look at X-Men or something like that. Domino, and if you think of Deadpool 2, she was introduced in Deadpool 2, if you've seen the movie. This lady was sentient. She was flowing with the universal energy by simply following what felt right in the moment. Because when you do that, you best path for you without you even needing to think about it. All you got to do is trust the flow, and it's like, I'm there. So if you had in your head, because so in this character, there we go. Sorry about that. So this character, Domino, whatever she asked for, it would come to her because she felt the flow of the energy and just went with it. So there was a point in time where she's just like, I need a bus to get you all out of here. And then a bus just crashes through the wall. She's like, okay, there we go. Get in the bus. You know, those kinds of things. So sentience is literally like Domino. Oh, hello, Christy. Welcome. Yes, Jessica, please, please, save that one. I'd love to go through it. Susan, yes, I had this doing healing on Lorna, just followed where to place my hands, right? Susan, you are an incredibly powerful sentient individual. That's right, you just go with it, and you're just like, So, Vida, you say, I tried Horriance and I felt I was successful and sent healing energy to a lady after liver surgery, but was not able to duplicate it since. Am I missing something? Do I need to wait longer to replenish energy? I did get lots of tingles and felt the energy in my chest and solar plexus. It was amazing. Ah, wonderful. See, this is why I love doing these healings, right? In these sessions that you join in, you connect, you do all these kinds of things because you feel what it's like, which is amazing. To answer that question, I'm actually going to answer that one, Beta, when I get onto Horriance, because I want to get through empathy first, and then I'm going to go through Horriance, because empathy and sentience are very, very close. But that's a wonderful question. Thank you. So sentience, anyway, again, we are feeling the entire flow of energy that is around us, okay? How do I actually use that on a distance kind of way as well? So when I am, because I'm an energy flow individual as well, meaning that I can assist with the flow of energies. So not only do I feel energy as a sentient individual, but I can also control the flow of where that energy wants to go. So if you were to say, Kulipup, I want to know if the job that I'm applying for is going to be successful, right? So what I would do is I would get your name in mind and I would summon the flow of energy to me that results in the job that you're getting. So it's kind of like summoning the timeline, I guess you could say. So I would summon the timeline and I'd just be like, and I'd ask the question, is this individual going to be happy and successful in this job? Now, if the energy flows nicely and I can feel it flowing and it's like, oh, that's nice, then it's like, yes, they'll be very successful, right? However, if I feel blockage, like I ask the question, will they be successful? And there's just block and it's not flowing. It means that they're not going to be successful. Now I can then go in and ask why, or I can also say, okay, well, I see the block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help it flow. So I'm going to help flow that energy so that you will be successful in that job, right? Because now, once where it was blocked, it is now flowing. So that's a really cool way of using your sentience. Okay, so the next we have, oh, and Angie, I think you are watching, I'm not quite sure, but you are an energy flow individual, and that's what you can do. Empathy. Empathy, lots of people are empathic, okay? Empathy is the ability to feel another individual's emotions, okay? Or feel the energy that they are producing, and then you can read it and interpret it. Okay, so empathy or being empathic is beautiful because it means that you can feel the pain of another individual. You can feel their sadness, and you're probably like, why is that beautiful? Well, the beauty is you can feel it and then you can know what to do with it. Okay, you can either then choose to heal that person's heart. Heal them through your own. Just be like, no, you're feeling sadness. I don't want you to feel sadness right now. I want you to get over what is causing you sad, and I want to help you with that, but I don't want you to feel it right now. So I'm going to take your sadness and I'm going to convert it into happiness and joy, and I'm going to send it right back to you, right? A lot of the times how I use my empathy is, well, I use it in my meditations. I use it in my teachings at times, because empathy goes with the range of emotions. It doesn't just stop at hurt and pain, right? If I need you to be open to understanding, because the next lesson that we are going to be doing is going to be a whirly of a doozy, right? And it's going to cause a lot of confusion. I'm going to use my empathy to put you on the frequency that helps to open your mind for new information, okay? Right? So empathy can be used in a lot of ways. Now, I definitely don't want anybody to be happy with people being sad. I would love everybody to feel other individuals and know that they're happy and they're feeling happy and just join with the love, happy energy and so forth like that. But if you do come across an individual and you feel their pain, it means that you have an opportunity to try to convert it. Whether you are using your words or whether you're just like, I notice you over there, and you're just in your mind, you're like, I notice you over there. I want to help you out. And you focus your attention on them and you feel the feelings of happiness in your heart, it will transfer over to them, right? And it's beautiful. It's just a wonderful thing in that sense. Yes, okay, let's have a look. Nikki, you say, sometimes I scare people with my knowing of what they are going through from afar. Yes. I hate seeing or feeling that someone is in pain. Nikki, right though? But think about this. If you are an empath, if you could constantly, regularly feel another individual's pain, does that not encourage you to, one, not commit pain on anybody else or want to cause anybody else pain? So it makes you more aware. And two, it makes you want to ease that pain of the other individual. Heal them. That's what cells do, right? When our body is sick, when we have pain and illness in it, all of our cells come together and want to heal that part so that we can all be well again. That's the purpose of empathy. It is to unify us, right? So that we all feel each other, so that we all can eradicate this pain, this hurt, help each other, grow each other, and be better together, right? This is what empathy is for. It is for healing, it is for understanding, it is for unity. So if you are empathic, it is a beautiful ability to help unify us all. Now, don't get me wrong. Empathy, when you are able to use it in terms of building, when you are really, really powerful, and Susan, I know you're going to be able to do this very, very soon as you focus a little bit more and get past this block and everything. But you can use empathy to literally conjure things into the material. Isn't that so cool, right? Like literally, if you can empathize with this cup, you can feel its vibration. You can know what it is, how it feels, how heavy it is, you know? And when you're an empath and when those feelings are so incredibly precise, you can literally recreate the feeling, and with your energy, you can turn it into a solid. Now, I have materialized myself, but I will be very, very honest. I did not do it purposely. It was more of an accident where things just showed up. I'm like, holy shit, do it purposely. But that is still something that I need to work on. I need to put more focus into it. I need to put more effort into it, because it takes at least a good 8 to 10 hours to learn how to conjure through empathy. Like, I mean 8 to 10 hours straight. I'm not talking about like, oh, we're gonna do it for 20 minutes every day. I mean, like, no, it will take approximately approximately 7 hours worth of intense focus and 3 hours worth of practice after that. So the first 7 hours is just you basically getting your head around how to do it and just practicing your focus on doing it. And then the last 3 hours is like literally making little things. And so it's a long day that I'm not willing to go through right now, because I'm like, I will just get anything I need. So that's me being lazy. Okay. So Susan, your block is coming to an end in your heart. You are developing very well. It's gonna come completely off very soon, and you're gonna feel it because you're gonna have this mad flush of energy. Okay? You're almost there. You're almost there. Keep going. Okay. Christy, you say, I feel that I attract people that need healing. Yes, you do. You do. When you have this ability, right? You literally are vibrating on the same frequency where people need. Just the same way that I say that only those who need me will find me. If you are in need of my words or something that is going to trigger your enlightenment process, you will find me, right? You'll find me. It may be that there's this, my face just comes up somewhere, or the group just comes up somewhere randomly, or you know, maybe you were at somebody else's house and you just heard my voice in the background. Doesn't matter. However it works, you'll find me if you need my words, right? And that's what's going to happen with all of you guys. If people need healing and you're able to offer them the healing that they need in that moment, they'll find you. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, what the shit? How come everybody, like, everybody just needs me right now? Yeah, that it'll happen. That's how cells heal each other, right? I'm a sick cell. I need healing. I don't know how to do it. So you are attracted to the ones who will help you. Nikki, I want to learn how to heal. I need to know how to. You do, my sweetheart. You can heal, and we're going to teach all of it. By all means, please rewatch some of my lives where I'm like, connect with me, right? Connect with me. This is all about it. It is one of those things that once you are healthy, you will heal people or have that ability. There's nothing else that comes out of it, right? Your abilities activate, and then you can choose to use them however you want. If healing is something you want to do, you're bloody well going to be able to do it. And I know you will, because you're going to have a lot of people who need healing come to you. Susan, I'm tingling like mad and I can't wait to try. Oh, bless you. Yes, your empathy and sentience is so strong. You tingle all the time and I love it. Wesley, you say, or be guided by to you. Right, exactly. People they will literally just come in there. RuPaul, I'm just watching. I hope so. Welcome, though, sweetheart. Okay, so let's go on to Horriance as well. So that is basically your empathy. Now, Horriance, let's go back up to Vita's comment there. So I'm just going to explain Horriance a little bit more and why you cannot find it on the internet. Okay, so Horriance is literally a physical ability. Okay, there's a lot of abilities that are listed online, but they're normally the abilities that you access through the ethereal. Okay, like a lot of people, they access their clairvoyancy. So a lot of abilities are not as provable, if you get what I mean, because you're clairvoyant. So again, that's all in your own mind as to what you are seeing. Cognizance, sentience, empathy, they are all very personal to what you are experiencing. Horriance is a physical ability, right? Horriance happens and you feel it in the physical. So, and it's one of those kind of lost, it's not lost information, however, it is not widely known. It's more occulted than anything, so it's not going to be readily available to you, right? So what Horriance is the ability to compact energy. Any energy source, you are able to compact it. Now, all energy is love energy. So you're able to compact your love energy, but whatever energy that is. So the way I like to explain it is, if this space, this cubic meter of space right in front of me, sorry, cubic foot of space in front of me, if that's all air, I can use my Horriance to compact the air. Push it down really far, and then stick my water bottle on top of it. And then it'll be like, oh, it will look like my water bottle is floating. But it's not. It will be able to topple over like being on an invisible table, right? Because I've compacted the energy so harshly down there. Now, Horriance, again, the energy is compacted, so you can use it to simulate flight if you'd want. So if I were to use my Horriance and make steps, it would look like I'm walking up steps in the middle of the air, or that I'm just levitating, or that I am flying, but really I'm just pushing energy beneath me. Now you may be saying, Kulipup, well, why didn't you do that right now? Well, to be honest, I haven't even focused on it. I've only used my Horriance in healing at the moment, but don't get me wrong, I've only been awake for about, truly awake for about a year, so give me 2 years and I'm flying. Like literally, I'm flying. And I will be able to teach you more how to do that a little bit more. But anyway, so that is what Horriance is. It is the compacting of the energy. Now, the way I use it again is in my healing. So when I compact my energy in my hand, right? And it's like, it's a really intense white glow. And I place that energy on the part of your body that requires healing. What it does is it accelerates the healing process. Because your body, in order to heal, if you think about it this way, if your body needs to heal, it needs energy. That's why you are resting. You know, when you're told rest after healing, rest after surgery, rest, you know, when you're sick, your doctor tells you to rest, right? It's because you are conserving energy and rediverting it to the areas that you require healing for, right? However, when I have Horriance, it means that you don't need to rest to get all of the energy from your body to redistribute. It means that I'm going to give that area, let's say if your arm was hurting on the inside, I'm going to give that area all the energy it needs to reproduce those cells to heal itself very, very fast, right? So it's an accelerated process, right? So that's basically what Horriance is, the compaction of energy. Now, let's go back to Beta's question. Beta, I tried Horriance and felt I was successful and sent healing energy to a lady after liver surgery, but was not able to duplicate it since. Am I missing something? Do I need to wait longer to replenish the energy? I did get lots of tingles and felt the energy in my chest and solar plexus. It was amazing, which is beautiful. Horriance does take a decent amount of energy. It really does. It depends on how much energy you did send her. Now, if you felt fairly tired afterwards, it meant that you did send a lot of energy out there, and you will need to take a little bit more time to recuperate your energy back. So you sent a lady energy after liver surgery. That's pretty intense, and that's pretty invasive. So that's going to take a lot of energy, especially if you're practicing and if you're new to your Horriance specifically. So I don't believe it was the fact that you are missing something or that you're not able to duplicate it. I think what you're trying to do, though, is you're trying to duplicate a feeling. Sorry, no, not duplicate a feeling. One moment. Yes. So you're trying to duplicate the Horriance that you felt at the time, right? And you're not hitting the right frequency because you have a thought in your mind as to what this tingles like, what this feels like, and you're trying to reproduce that feeling when it's kind of like, nah, you're focusing too much on the feeling, which is hard because you still have to focus on the feeling. Focus more on what you're doing and let the feelings and the tingles come to you, okay? So that's what I want you to focus on. Just focus on being relaxed and being you, and focus on what it is you're trying to achieve and accomplish. And then let the feelings flood to you. So it's definitely not that she did take a fair amount of energy from you. So you would have been a little bit tired, but not for too long. You should have replenished that within a few hours, to be honest with you. What she took from you would have been given back to you. So it's really just that focus, right? Because I know we get really excited. Trust me, when I first started my telekinesis and making my foil go around and making things kind of move, I was always just like, I was so focused on the moving, like move, move, move. And I forgot to give it a direction, or I forgot to give it actual instruction as to where I wanted it to move. So it was just kind of sitting there still like, I want to move, but left or right? Like, what do you want, woman? Because my energy was giving it a standstill. So that's what I can say on that one, my sweetheart. But that's wonderful. Okay, so let's have a look at some other comments that we have here. So, okay, Susan, you say, okay, Kulipup, I've been asked to go see a boy in a mentally ill hospital. Can I help him, or is it too soon? But I want to do, you want to do this. Sweetheart, if you are feeling that you want to do this, go do it. Go do it. Follow that feeling that you have in your heart and go do it. Right? That's what you need to do. Now, if the child is mentally ill, you are a very powerful individual, Susan. Like, even though you are still going through your training, you're still very, very powerful. So I want you to, whilst you are going into this situation, I really want you to have an idea of what you want the outcome to be. What is it, your goal? What is it that you are trying to achieve here? And is it plausible? Everything is possible, but what are we getting from this situation specifically, right? So for example, if you are like, I want to instantly heal this child and make sure he has no mental scarring or mental issues whatsoever, you can do so. However, if you don't know the backstory as to how it got there in the first place, that could be a little bit more difficult. If you are trying to fix something that has happened since birth, that's going to take a lot of energy. Okay, that's going to take a mad amount of energy. So you're going to have to prepare yourself to not only put your energy out there, but also be providing aftercare energy in order to achieve what it is that you wanted to achieve. So it's best to kind of go in there because the mental is very difficult. Physical healing is one thing, right? Because we can physically heal and just be like, get some rest, eat properly, and you'll be right as rain. But mental healing is about the thoughts and what's the connections and so forth going in there. So it's much more delicate. So always have an intention as to what it is you are going to be doing or wanting to be the outcome to be, so that you can be more precise. But yes, please do. Please do. You are literally doing this out of nothing but love in your heart. So even if you didn't do a lot because you're still practicing, whatever you did would have been within love and would have been beneficial in that way. So there's no downside to this. Oh, Jennifer, you have great info. Love it. Wonderful. I'm happy. I'm happy if you're able to get through, if you are able to, use it, which is brilliant. Okay. Wesley, hugs, lol. Oh, hugs to you, Wesley. Hugs to you, my sweetheart. Feel my energy as I wrap my arms around you. It's wonderful. Jessica, so based on that explanation, Horriance is like chi energy. Yes, it is. It is and it isn't, because Horriance can be used in the ethereal and also in the material. Your chi is what you are gathering and you are using, like your kundalini, right? Well, which is your energy. But if you are using it in the physical, like your chi would go with your Kenisi element, right? So if you are hydrokinetic, right, and you're able to manipulate water, you would be using your chi in the physical to literally guide the flow of the water. However, if you are Horriant, you can use this on a distant basis as well. You're able to compact energy anywhere. Whereas your chi, when you're using it, it is more so in the physical and it is more so direct, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Alrighty. So, Wesley, awesome. Yeah. No, seriously, like, if you really want to connect with me and you want to hug anybody who wants an energy hug right now, or whenever you're ready, maybe you want to do a little meditation, you're just like, I want some warm Kulipup hugs. Then just say, Kulipup, can you give me a hug, please? And just wait for the feeling, because I'm a sucker for hugs. You call my name, I'll be there. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to hug the shit out of you. We're going to have all sorts of cuddles. And that's all. Okay, Jessica, you say, I've used Horriance before, sending too much, not realizing how much power was behind it, and it totally put me on my ass for a few days subsequent to that. It can be like that. It can be like that. You gotta get that energy flow right. Beta, you say, I didn't feel too tired. Is the fact that I'm emotionally involved with the subject I want to help affect anything? Not at all. Only if you are emotionally involved. That's why I'm like, you should have got your energy back in a few hours. It's not like it took days or anything like that. So I thought that was okay. But if you are emotionally involved in an individual, it depends on what emotional it is. If you have nothing but love for this individual and they have your focus, all it means is that it's accelerated, right? Because the more you focus on it, the more you're telling your energy to go to this individual, which then just means better things for them on a faster basis. However, if you are emotionally involved and you're just like, I'm healing them, but I don't like them, and you are having negativity in there, that's when that will affect it, and you can think that it won't affect them in a good way, and then it doesn't affect you in a good way either. So yeah, but if it's just with love, then it just strengthens it, that's all. Okay, Jessica, my telekinesis happened by accident with electrical equipment, but it was so cool. I know. When you find your kinesi's start working, you're just like, oh shit, and you'll be like me, right? Where I'm like, what wind was around here? What happened to this? That couldn't have been me. And then it happens so often that you're like, okay, no, I get it. It's me now. It's me. Susan, he asked to see me. Oh, beautiful. And if this boy wants to see you, then that means that his belief in you will also help the process along. because his energy will be more in harmony with your own, and you won't have to fight against it or anything for the healing. So I think that's wonderful. RuPaul, you say, I am very far from my destination, I feel. I hope I can achieve my awakening in this lifetime. RuPaul, my sweetheart, you will. You will. Because the journey takes time for some individuals, right? However, the harder the journey, the more reward you get, really. I know that sounds kind of like, really? That sucks. But yeah, you get a higher payoff, right? A lot of the very old souls that have incarnated into this life will literally have had to go through some diabolical things in order to reach this point. So many old souls or very intense individuals have had to go through molestation as a child, abuse, mental and physical, as a child and as an adult. They have to go through severe heartache. And it's because they are developing their souls at such a deep level. But at the end of the day, they have more power to overcome this. Or they have the potential of a much higher power than a younger soul coming in. Right? So that's what, like, I'm old as dirt. I'm older than dirt. I'm like old, like, I was older before dirt was even created, before there was a dirt, right? I'm that old. I gotta go through a lot of crap. I gotta go through a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, when I did go through all of these things, my abilities are just out there, right? I overcame it, so now I can share all of my knowledge and my energy with you guys. All right, it's really cool. So you will do it, my sweetheart, as long as you want to. And just don't give up. Don't give up. It's worth it, I promise. So Susan, you say, gave him some light, but I'm feeling his voice is not going to like me around him. His voices is not going to like me around him. Silence those voices, my sweetheart. That's what I would do. If you are around this little boy and he's just like, the voice is in my head, I want you to just within your own energy, within your own self, because you are a high energy individual, I simply want you to say that whilst this kid is in my presence, the subconscious and conscious entities will be mute to the world, and the world will be mute to it. So that way, you could freely have a conversation, and those entities will not be able to speak to him, or he won't be able to speak to them. And it'll just be a conversation with Susan and this little gentleman. And sorry, I have this self-satisfied look on my face because I'm like, yeah, F you entities. you can't get out of my own conversation. But use your power, Susan. Literally, use your power. It's there to be used. This is your ability. This strong empathy and the sentience that you have. Literally nullify any negativity around you. So that the way is clear. You don't have to be freaking... You're divine. You are a piece of God. You are God in itself. Right? You don't gotta cater to no negative entities. Screw them. You tell them what's gonna happen. Just be like, you're gonna shut up while I'm with this child. And you're gonna leave him alone because I'm gonna delete your asses. You know? Like, really get your, like, F you guys. Sorry. Clearly, I have a thing for entities. I do not like them. And I find the most creative ways to piss them off because they're shitheads. Anyway, Jessica, exactly. I was super shocked about it because it was a broken fan of all things. And it was my will at the time to fix it because it was hot in the house. So I grabbed it and let the feeling flow and book. It started working without logical explanation. I didn't fear, though. Was more in shock, like, oh my god, I did that. I know! Oh, Jessica, I have done that a couple of times. You know, the computer that I do all of my work on, if I give it to anybody else, it's a piece of shit. I mean, sorry. It won't work. It broke last year. It broke, like, in 2017. And we had it in the, like, just ready to be like, oh, well, this is stupid. Except for I really needed a computer one time because I was sick of using my laptop. So I was just like, so I sat down and I told it, I said, you're going to work. because I need it. And lo and behold, it turned on and everything works fine. And I'm like, oh, I've been doing it ever since. Same thing with my dishwasher, right? My dishwasher was one of those brand new Bosch dishwashers or whatever. You know, it's like, oh, it's European, so it costs like $1,200. And I'm like, what the shit? Anyway, I didn't pay for that. I'm like, nah, I ain't pay for that. But anyway, so we basically got it, this new dishwasher, and it literally, after the 30 days went out, it broke. Got the repair guys in, they're like, you need a new pipe, you need a new whole front panel. You know, the front of it is just like, it was like you could literally shake the panel and you could hear the screws in the computer, and everything in the panel was just like totally screwed up, and it didn't work. So we're just like, okay, well, we're going to have to sort this out at another point because it's not working. But I did this thing with the computer, and I'm like, holy shit, it worked. So what I did was I went down to my dishwasher that has been out of commission with loose screws and things just there. And I'm like, on button, boop. And it came on, and it's like everything worked. I'm like, well, slap me sideways. So it's beautiful when your abilities just, all of a sudden shit just works around you and you're like, holy shit. At that point, I was still within guiding my vessel at the point. And it was funny because I literally said to myself at that point, I'm like, because I was going through, of course, trusting myself and finding that trust in myself. And I was just like, I could give you all of the energy in the universe, and all I had to do was fix the computer and fix the dishwasher, and that's what it took for you to believe me. So I'm like, oh, sorry, I will stop being insolent and I will understand and we will go through this. So this shit happened. Nikki, you say, I know I just kind of rambled on a little bit there. You say, Lord knows all of the heartache and pain, trauma that I've been through, but it is what has made me who I am today. Right? Right, Nikki? Same thing with me. I get asked all the time, what's your greatest regret in life? What would you change? And I'm like, not a damn thing. Because this path has led me to all of these amazing abilities and the ability to heal and help so many other people. So I'm not giving away this crap. I think not. Like, I'm good. Jessica, well, that explains with the trials and tribulations I go through that the obnoxious situations that present are making me extra powerful is how I will look at it. That is the way to do it. Every time you come to a place where you believe life is kicking your ass, switch your focus, turn that frequency, and literally go, okay, what can I learn from this situation? Analyze the situation, okay? The opponent has played their hand and is dishing you out a lesson of negativity. What's your next move, right? How will you approach this? I sure as shit know I ain't wallowing in fear and negativity, because then that means the opponent wins, the entities win. And I'm like, what am I going to learn from this? Let me analyze this. What's my next move? How am I going to get out of this situation? How am I going to grow from it? How much stronger will I be after this? Right? And it's beautiful. Gina, you say, can you heal your eyesight so no longer need glasses? Yes, you can. It takes a long time. I'll tell you, if you are low in energy, it will take you can't wear your glasses, but your eyesight will be better within 18 years. I know that's a shit long time, and you're like, who's got freaking 18 years to stop wearing glasses for? Yeah, I feel you. My glasses, because I try to reduce the amount of time I wear my glasses, it will take me 3 years. I just can't put my glasses on for anything besides very brief computer reading or watching something on the TV or something like that. So that will take me 3 years. However, I can actually heal somebody's eyesight within 3 to 4 days. Right? If you are within my presence, I can place my hands over your eyes and I can heal them. The only shitty part is you have to be blind for those 3 to 4 days. You can't use your eyes. Right? So when you get high enough energy, when you get your Horriance going or your healing, like your physical healing there, you can heal your eyesight for sure. It just means, though, you have to sacrifice a few days of being blind. Now, put it this way. Okay, you say, wow, 3 to 4 days. Yeah, it takes that long. But For an individual who has used their eyes every single day for their entire life, going 3 to 4 days without your eyesight, it's like, I don't want to. So I'm being lazy, to be honest with you. Or whoever is happy to sacrifice their eyesight for 3 to 4 days. I know there's plenty of people who will definitely sacrifice their eyesight for 3 to 4 days. I'm just basing it off of me, and I'm like, I don't want to, so who else wants to? So don't, yeah. So Jessica, you say, it also verifies for me that my mom is a fractal, though doesn't realize it. Yes. And we're going to be discussing that as well in terms of entities and so forth, because that's very true, right? All source fractals, if you are a source fractal, then it means your mother is too. Oh, Nikki, you say, replying to Gina, I've seen the same question before in a thread recently on another page. Yeah, well, yeah, it definitely can be fixed. Anything on your body can be fixed as long as you are putting it in the right environment. I need everybody to understand that your cells, the cells in your body, react to the environment you place it in. I have been wearing glasses since I was 18 years old, okay? Since I was 18. So my eyes have adapted to the lenses that are in here. And each year, because my optometrist said I had to do it, and I believed him, said you need to come in and get your eyes checked each year to get a stronger prescription. That only worsens the eyesight. Only ever worsens it. If you stop wearing these glasses and you put your eyes back into the regular perspective, you know, the regular light spectrums that are coming in, your eyes will adapt back to that. You just got to give it time for healing. Your body will adapt to whatever environment you place it in, right? That's why we have people in far parts of the world that are going through like freaking 50-degree weather, and they're walking out in like long sleeve tops and like la 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 la. Versus if you put me in 50-degree weather, I will get heat stroke because I can't take that because I am adapted to the North American environment. Same thing, people who are around a lot of water, their bodies adapt. This is how cells work, right? Just looking into a little bit of basic biology will confirm that for you. Yes, Jessica, I trade blindness for eyesight. Yes, again, I'm sure so many more people are willing to not see for 3 to 4 days in order to get their eyes fixed. And you know what? I do plan to do it at some point. But that's going to be, I'm going to call that my Sentience training week where I then just get guided. But I don't want to be. I like seeing. I'm not going to lie. Bitka, you say, my eyes got so much better in the past few weeks. I was to the point of not needing reading glasses anymore, but went back in the past 3 days for some reason. It happens sometimes, right? We often, depending on our environment, we go back into old patterns. Keep your glasses off and you will find that your eyesight gets better. My eyesight is getting better day by day. It's still a little fuzzy, but it's no longer really fuzzy. It just seems more like, if I squint like this, it becomes clear. And I'm like, it's working. I'm being lazy. So, excellent. Jessica, I want to move closer to the equator, right? I need some heat too. Hi, Johan, sweetheart. Okay, so I've went on for quite a while here, but we've gone through cognizance, voyancy, sentience, empathy, Horriance, now your Kenisi element as well. I'll just basically go through this. For your Kenisi element, I had air, water, earth, fire, and the mental. Oh, sorry. Kulipup, do you have a recipe for sunscreen so we don't have to wear all those chemicals on our skin? This summer, I tried to keep as covered up as possible, but that's not always possible. Yeah, coconut oil. Just get some organic coconut oil. It literally blocks the harmful parts of the sun, but also lets you get that really golden, lovely, sun-kissed experience. Coconut oil is a fabulous protector of sun. The only thing is you have to reapply often. You go into the water, it'll all wash off. So when you come back out of the water, make sure you apply some coconut oil. So that's all that is. Like literally, coconut oil is wonderful. I don't recommend anybody use sunscreen because it literally reacts with the sun and all the other chemicals in your body and causes you to have a negative reaction. right? All this bullshit about the sun causes cancer. Okay. The sun causes just about as much cancer as it does to a plant, which it doesn't. You are of the earth. The sun, which gives its energy to basically every living thing. There's a reason why your skin needs vitamin D, which where do you get it? From the sun, right? It does not give you cancer, right? All the chemicals within your body from all of the crap we consume that has so much chemicals on all the products we put in our bodies that absorb everything, that's what causes cancer, because those things, what do they say? Don't leave it in direct sunlight. It says so on the bottle, stay away from direct sunlight. So of course, you put it in your body, it's all absorbed in there, and then you're soaking up the sun, it doesn't react very well. Same thing, but coconut oil, just organic coconut oil, it's wonderful. My kids, my whole family, that's what we use, and I get goldenly crispied. So I'm like, woo, Kulipup's looking good today when I use some coconut oil. And it stays on, it's wonderful. So let's have a look here. Jessica, you say, well, along the lines of where all pyramids were originally placed, I have good reason for this. Ah, yes. Well, Jessica, the thing is, if you look at all the pyramids and all of these really, really great common places that we see, they're all on ley lines. They are all on the Earth's ley lines. Ley lines are absolutely everywhere. You can find ley lines close to yourself too. You don't have to go all the way to the equator, unless you want to. But if you want to know, or if you want to feel the energy as to why these monuments and these things are built in this specific area, look up a map of the ley lines. Just Google ley lines and see where your closest ley line is. They're actually really cool. But don't get me wrong, once you get to a certain energy point, you are actually like a ley line, your own self. You're a walking ley line. I'm a walking ley line, right? So it's really quite cool. Okay, so Beta, you say, is the only way to advance with your abilities further to meditate and raise vibrations, or is there anything else we can do to help it along? Beta, the only other thing that you can do to help further your abilities is to use them actively, right? Use them. You have these abilities for a purpose. When you are following your life's purpose, your abilities, not only will you gain a shitload more energy coming back to you, but your abilities will develop so much faster. Why do you think I teach all day long, right? Because it's not only that I'm giving you guys great information that you can develop on, but I'm also gaining a shitload of energy back in. And every time I teach, my abilities become more acute. They go deeper. Far, far deeper. And then we have to readjust and we have to be like, okay, because there was at one point when my abilities, when I started using them so much, I had a massive frequency increase and I was trying to give a lady a reading, but I went so deep into herself, I went to her past lives. And I was like, oh shit. Sorry, rein it back in. Too deep in the information. Too deep, too deep. Let's go back on the surface. So that's the best thing you can do. If you want to advance fast and you want to be there lightningly quick and gain a hell of a lot of energy as you're doing it, use them. Follow your purpose. Heal people. Guide people. Use your cognizance. Become aware, right? Use it in everyday life and you'll get so much back, I promise you. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to use coconut oil. Oh, please do. It's wonderful. And you smell great. Right? You smell absolutely great. Johan, you say, but the action of product can cause the disease, definitely, and to control the vibration. Yes, or it can interfere with your vibration for sure. Gina, can healers heal our pets? Yes. Yeah. I do it with my cat all the time. If she because she's an outdoor cat, if she comes back home with a sniffle or something, then I just place my hand on her and I send healing throughout her body to rid her of the sickness. So that way she's no longer sneezing gross cat snot everywhere. Right? So do this for your other pets too. Jessica, I am aware of those lines and how to use them. Excellent. Now become one, my sweetheart. Become one. Okay, you say, if we share our knowledge we receive from you, does that help us with raising our frequency and with us coming into our abilities or strengthening our abilities? It does. It does. When you are gaining so much energy, because again, I'm flooding out a lot of energy to anybody who is watching and who's listening. If you share this information, yeah, it does. Because you are literally helping the energy flow out to others. Right? So please do. Please share. This is why I encourage it, right? Because we all raise frequency that much faster. And that's how I say, like, hey, if you want to return the energy, if you're happy with the information you received and you think it's going to help somebody else, I'm like, yeah, totally share that, right? Because only good things come back to you. Right. So, I was going through the Kenisi elements as well, of air, water, earth, fire, and the mental. Oh, Gina, you're very welcome, my dear. Now, with the Kenisi element, many people have more than one. But what I did was I put down the one that is most in tune, where you vibrate closest to. If you are in the element of air, it means that you are no doubt a very free individual, right? And aerokinesis, or flight, or astral projection, things where you are in and being free and being moving, you are no doubt going to be very, very good at these kinds of things. Aerokinesis, again, being able to control. I look at it like the airbenders from the Last Avatar, or something like that. So air, that's a good way there. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Jessica, you got it. Becoming a ley line. I will it to be so, and so it is. Exactly. That is excellent, my sweetheart. Oh, Johan, you say cities are built, conceived to capture energy and limit vibration. Yes. This is why, you know, the Washington monuments, every time you see one of those pillars, right, that are just randomly located around the place, like, these are ley lines, these are extraction points of energy, right? You can also call it a phallus if you'd like. It is where energy is literally extracted from the earth through that way. You can imagine what else is extracted from a phallus. Same thing. Okay. The Kenisi element of water, you are able to flow a lot. It's very calming. If you think of water, a very strong, very powerful element, but flows very nicely. So hydrokinesis is a wonderful ability. Just think of what you can do when you are able to flow with water and feel and push and pull. Great healing can be done with that too, but it's also the mentality that you have. Earth is a very strong, very strong Kenisi. It means that you are very, very connected. People who are of the earth normally are very in tune with nature and growing. Not necessarily always growing, but having a very, very strong connection with the earth in itself. Okay, so when you are geokinetic, you are able to push and pull earth and soils and rocks and this and that. So think of being an earthbender in the cartoon, The Last Airbender. Fire, of course, pyrokinesis. You are able to literally control. You are able to put in your energy to make flames larger, or take away that energy from the flame to make it smaller. Fire is a very strong, again, a very emotionally powerful Kenisi, right? So you find a lot of individuals who are, I will say, well, they can be so many things, but sentient. No, you can have the ability of fire with any sort of ability that you have, but it is a very passionate Kenisi. So it requires a lot of energy generating in the solar plexus, right? So you find that people who are hotheads would be good as pyrokinetic individuals. Johan, you say as nanotechnology, smart grid, etc. Yeah, all of that, but also on a much larger scale too. So Johan, I want you to think big too, not just small. Gina, you say, by the way, your hair looks amazing today. Oh, thank you. I was really lazy. I was normally preparing it to put up in a bun, but then I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I got lazy. It's Monday. Let's do it that way. And then you have the mental kinesi, which are things like telekinesis, where you are able to move things and control energies just through the power of your thought as well. You will find that a lot of people who are cognizant, voyant, and Horriance have this type of kinesi because it takes a lot of mental strength to accomplish. Johan, the Eye of Saturn. Give me a little bit more backstory on that one, so I could answer that correctly. Okay, how do we know which kinesi spelling we are or have the gift of? Well, I'm going to for sure be placing down your the one that most resonates with your vibration. However, it's all through trial and error, my sweetheart, right? I tell you, when I realized I was aerokinetic, and it was funny because when I was asking my spirit at the time, when I was asking myself, I was asking, hey, what do I teach when we're in source? Because I know I'm a teacher. What do I teach? And one of the things that came back was aerodynamics. And I'm like, really? That's what I teach? Why would I teach that? But I'm like, oh, I'm aerokinetic. And one of the times when I realized it was I was at the gym and it was snowing. And I was focusing on a certain spot watching the snowfall. And then I realized that the snow stopped. I wanted to see these snowflakes. I was focusing so hard on the snowflakes that until I realized I was looking around and I'm like, everything within this little bubble of focus literally stopped. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to look away. And then it would start flooshing. And I'm like, shit, come to me. And then I'd find that the snow would then start to come and funnel right where I was sitting. It was outside, of course, but it was funneling. So it was really wonderful. But it's trial and error, right? You see what feels good and you flow with it. You know, if you are somebody who enjoys being around water, whilst you're sitting and playing, just be like, let me see if I can feel the flow of this energy. And let me see if I can move it. Trial and error, it's really fun. I myself, I am all of these, but I a lot, though, I am with aerokinesis and pyrokinesis. I do well with fire and also telekinesis. So I do well with my mental, my fire, and my air. Water takes a little bit more, because it's heavier, it takes a little bit more of my focus to flow it. I always find that I can change the course of water. I can make it move somewhere else. But then I'm like, okay, come back. And I'm like, oh shit, I've built up the momentum. And then I go, screw it. Because again, my focus only lasts for like 5 minutes, I swear. And earth, again, it's a very, very powerful one. So I don't practice as much with that one, I'm not going to lie. Kulipup is much better. He's much better, but he's also agrokinetic. He grows a lot of things. He puts his energy into plants a lot, so it makes sense. He loves soil too. So let's have a look here. Jessica, you said, have a hard time seeing those lists you make even on Zoom. I know, right? You know what I'll do? I'll try to get them in smaller batches so you can see like a little bit, like I'll break them up because I've been just posting like everybody in A, everybody in B, everybody in C, like in one go. So thank you, Jessica. I'll try to make those a little bit more visible. Okay, wow, that's so cool. I know, right? This is so wonderful. I want everybody to experience this. Wesley, you say, bup, 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 and I'm guessing that is in the UK when you're like, brup, brup, brup. I think, I hope. If not, then you've just seen my incredibly terrible impression of what I believe UK street big ups are, basically. So, Jessica, you say, you should check the correlation between destructive weapons and heavy water. I watch what our governments do. Yes. Our governments do a hell of a lot of things. And we should also have a look at CERN and the antimatter that is being created as well. And what that antimatter is, right? Wesley, I hope that was still the UK version of cool stuff. I'm such a mom, aren't I? Which moms are cool, but I'm just saying. Okay, so that is your abilities explained in a little bit more detail. Now, I wanted to, mind you, this live is very, very long again. I'm trying to make my lives shorter so that more people can Because I know not everybody can watch for like 2 hours straight, but I swear I just chat. Water is what I'm working with against that. Yeah. Oh. I would implore everybody to look into what the government is doing with not only with your water, with your food, with your air, with every natural resource that you require to live. Check out what your government's doing with it. Because I tell you, it's nothing good. It's all about control, and it's all miserable. So, yeah, just have a look on that one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save entity versus program versus source fractal for another live. However, I am going to answer the question posed by the lovely Jessica, which was on the group, and that states as follows, and I will use my glasses so I can see this clearly. Watching that video on abusive relationships and kicking the habit, etc., I find myself with unanswered questions. Understanding the baseline of it all, I was curious. So here are my inquiries. I recall once you told me that if I stayed with my entity of fear, in this case my husband, that I would become a program. Is this essential, a source fractal being put on pause until the game ends? Is it essential? No, it's not necessarily essential. Can a fractal also go another way and become an entity? Well, no. Let me put this on here. When you are literally a source fractal and you are going through a very, very hard lesson. Now, here's the kind of thing that sucks a lot. If you are committing your actions within a state of not knowing, you know. So for example, if you're with your abusive husband, but you have no clue about the ethereal, about who you are, you had no clue you were Amishtal, you had no clue about frequencies, numbers, this knowledge was completely void, right? Then what would happen is you would either learn your lesson or you wouldn't, right? But you would go through life as you normally would, and there wouldn't, the only consequence that would be there is that you basically are just living in fear and living within the abuse, or hopefully you got out of the abuse, right? But it's just regular life at that point, right? But you're doing it without the power of Amishtal behind you. So it's not that it is essential that it is paused, but if you're doing it in a place of unknowing, it's just life. You just follow out your fate or your destiny or whatever it was written for you to follow through. Now, if you know everything about yourself, well, you can't know everything, but if you know a lot of things about yourself, you know, sorry, let's have a look here. Or can you say it's terrible what the government is doing? Hell yeah. Jessica, I was asking, was it essential a fractal being put on pause? It's not that it's the word essential that I'm kind of trying to get deeper understanding where, because nothing is really essential. It is simply a consequence of an action being taken. So if we think, is it a consequence to put you on pause? Well, not really, because once you know all the information, you know who you are as Amishtal, nothing is on pause. It is either you choosing good or you're choosing negativity. That's all that is happening at that point. So if you are choosing the negative, if you are choosing to stay within a place of fear, even though you know you are Amishtal, even though you know you are a higher being with a super great amount of power, and that you are a being of love and light, and if you are choosing as this being to be in fear, then it is not pause that will happen. It will literally be the slow descent, which can accelerate, right? So again, it's not pause, it's just cause and effect. Now, you say, can a fractal also go another way and become an entity? Well, no. No, you are a source fractal until the day you die. However, if you once had all of the knowledge as to who you are, and you chose to reject that knowledge, then it is basically like you are a program. You will always be a source fractal, because when you pass away, you will, of course, go back to source, the universal energy. You will still have your consciousness, but in this game, you will basically behave like nothing more than a program, right? Because you are choosing to live in a state that does not generate love and light. You are choosing to live in a state that generates only fear. Hello, Ebony, sweetheart. And that is when you are making the conscious choice to choose fear over love. Patricia, what about unconscious choices where we are not fully aware of? That's the thing. That is why we have gotten into this state that we have gotten into as mankind, because we are continually making unconscious choices. Thank you, Patricia. That was a wonderful question, or a wonderful statement there. This is why I teach so heavily to meditate, to gain control of your mind, because you will manifest all of the nasty things in your life. And the thing is, you don't even know it, because you have manifested it and you are so unaware because you did not control your mind in that time, right? And this is why we live in a place where you have Donald Trump as a president. You know, and I don't know, like he was a patsy anyway. But this is why you have people who are starving when there is food abundantly around them, right? Because they have been programmed and molded through their own consent, but through their blind ignorance of what is around them. Because again, they don't have control of their mind. Spells are placed on you on an everyday basis when you are in the system. Spells, I see it, I feel them as they are activating. I can see everything that the government and everything that the powers that be who want to... So I can see what these powers that be are trying to do to control you with the spells that they are inciting. And all I see is people just running off of this program. And yeah, you make decisions every day that you are unaware of, right? Make them every day and you're unaware of them. And this is why we have manifested collectively the life that we are in right now, of suffering, of depression, of servitude, of this bullshit, because we are not in control of our minds. So, Patricia, you say, I know too young to know what I was taught was not true. This is it though. This is it. When we reach an age of maturity, we can no longer put the blame on anybody else. We are in control of our own lives. Nobody is putting a gun to your head saying you must eat this McDonald's burger, right? Nobody's doing that. Nobody is forcing you. Nobody has a gun to your head forcing you to go work for this organization that is corrupt, that causes pain and suffering to millions of people. Nobody is forcing you to do this. Nobody forces you to pay into, to use your hard-earned energy and pay into a system that causes nothing but fear and hatred and war. Nobody is forcing you to do anything, but your mind is locked in a place of confusion and is being guided down the path that is suiting the powers that be, that do not want you to understand who you are and the power that you hold. Ebony, you say, is meditation is the guide to consciously manifest things of love and light? Yes, well, meditation and just being in control. So definitely you get there through meditation, through calm, and through just simply focusing. Focus and understanding and awareness is how you really is how you really manifest what you want. Meditation is just a tool to develop your focus. But once you have your focus and you have the knowledge as to what manifestation is and how to do it, and you can feel your energy working for your manifestations, you're gravy. You are overtly powerful when you are able to do this. All right. Okay. Jessica, I'll say, as far as negative thinking and this being a game, I was once taught to speak aloud, resolve, erase, delete, to reprogram the negative thoughts and give yourself training and acknowledgement of the action. Yes, definitely. That is speaking in the now moment. When you have negativity coming to you and you process it right there and then, it means that it doesn't control you. It's part of your past that doesn't control you because you've already processed this emotion. You've already processed this issue. So you now cannot be manipulated along with it, right? However, how many people don't speak out loud to resolve and erase the issues that they have? How many people take in information and bottle it up so deeply inside them that they feel the emotion, but they are lost to the emotion. They do not know where that emotion has come from. It's sad, but again, we need focus in order to go on with that. Wonderful. So, let's get back onto the question here. Another one was, so can a fractal also go another way and become an entity? Nope. Nope. You will either live as a program or you will live as the one in love and light that you are. It is just your choice. Now, was that simply a tactic that was being used to keep me on my path to divinity? Oh, sorry, if we're attaching this to, when I told you that you would become a program if you continue to go through this abuse, was that a tactic being used to keep you on your path of divinity? No, that was literally a statement. That was literally, well, this is the outcome. The same way where if you ask me, hey, what's going to happen if I walk over that cliff? I will tell you, you will fall and you will no doubt die. Your husband was that cliff that you were walking towards. And I simply was saying, no, that's what's going to happen. That's the consequence of the action that you're choosing to take. So it wasn't a ploy or a tactic or anything like that. Because you got to remember, I live in truth. I live in black and white. There's no tactics here. I give you the information and you can take it and choose to use it however you wish. Right? But that is the outcome. Is a fractal that knowingly accepts this for whatever reason is essentially sacrificing their divinity? Yeah. Because I want you to look at it this way. Right? If you are literally gaining energy through love and light, and you've gained so much, right? And then you've made the active choice to stay within a situation that causes you nothing but fear. It means that with you being high energy, that fear that you're generating is a massive amount of fear. It's not just a little bit of fear. It's the same scenario, but the fear, the level of it is huge, right? So it means that when you produce fear at a higher level, you get taken from at a higher level. That cost, so for example, I'll put it in terms of money. If you're in the low frequencies and a negative thought costs you $1, and you're just like, okay, well, I can sacrifice that dollar on that negativity because it doesn't really do anything to me. However, if you're in the high frequencies, well, that same thought doesn't cost you $1 anymore. It costs you $10,000. So if you continually have these $10,000 thoughts, you're gonna go bankrupt real quick, right? So when you knowingly accept who you are, and then you literally go back on that, it means that you are spending your ethereal energy like crazy. You need your ethereal energy in order to have your abilities activate. You need your ethereal energy in order to flow and manipulate space and time. But if you've just literally spent all of that energy on negative thoughts, negative thinking, or fear, or if your body is being abused and you have bruises all over you, then your body has to take extra energy to heal it. Then you're thinking of negative things at the same time. It's like your energy is totally mismanaged. So it all goes freaking downhill from there. All right? Also, having excess energy in such cases, is this an instance in which one would utilize reprogramming a fractal that became something else? Okay, so let me reread that again. Also, having excess energy in this case, is this an instance in which one would utilize reprogramming a fractal that became something else? If you are a program as a fractal, now you're not an entity, you're not going to be an entity, because an entity comes in for, or if anything, if you're ever an entity, you're an entity of love. Okay, so that's your overall, that's what's within your heart. You will always be looking for love, right? An entity of fear or pain or suffering will only ever seek fear or pain or suffering or whatever it is. They can fake love. They can manipulate and make you feel very attached to an individual. However, their overall goal and objective is hate and fear and pain. So that is what will come of it. You, as a source fractal, if you gain more energy, the only thing that you can do is physically be in love, right? Because only source fractals generate love or generate that energy. Only programs and entities take that energy. They feed off of fear. Okay? So if you are a source fractal and you've basically sacrificed your divinity and you become a program, it means that you're no doubt going to feed on fear too, but it is still up to you to reprogram yourself. Now going back onto this though, you can utilize reprogramming, of course, but you have to want to. If you're a source fractal and you've literally crashed, you have to start from the base, but it's really, really, really hard because you still have the negativity from the higher ups just pummeling down on you, right? Until all of your energy's gone. So to gain that energy again is going to take a lot of effort, right? Take a lot of effort. So at that point, yes, utilizing reprogramming to become better again is something that you'd want to do. Okay, so let's read a couple comments here. Beta, you say, before you end the session, could you please help me by putting a spell on me to stop focusing on swallowing while I meditate? I tried it myself, but somehow as soon as I try to go deeper, I'm compelled. Sorry. I had to go. Oh, yes, I'm a compelled to swallow, and that wakes me back up. It's something about the word deeper that triggers me. Thank you, love. I so appreciate lives. We'll be away for a few days, but we'll try to catch if you can. Yes, of course. Bita, you are getting this weight, this swallowing, because you're, what is it? Because you are avoiding the deepest parts of your heart. When you want to go deeper, no, that's not quite right. No, you are avoiding, or your entity is trying to have you avoid the deepest parts of your heart. So it's not that it's you that's having having trouble swallowing. It's because you have a nasty little entity that is coming up in your throat, breaking your focus. So, acknowledge that, Beta. Acknowledge that. When you can identify and just be like, ha, that's that little shithead of an entity. Because it did it to me too. There was a time when I'm just like, my throat, I can't stop. It's horrible. And it's kind of like, when you acknowledge that it's the entity, you can then overpower it to stop it from happening. But the best thing to do in that time is to speak so much bloody truth that you're just like, because it can't harm you if you're speaking truth. It only harms you if you are in fear or speaking lies or anything to do with fear or negativity. That's when it is allowed to control more of you. However, when you're just like, you feel it coming up and you're like, in your mind, just be like, why is it stopping me from going deeper? You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm going to go as deep as I can and fight past that feeling and speak truthfully from your heart, and you'll find that this won't happen anymore. Because you would have overcome this hardship. You would have gotten to the deepest parts of the inner work that it has been trying to sabotage you on. So, but I can definitely send my energy to help out with that for sure. Jessica, you say, see, I perceive that as more of a guidance to stay in the light, like trying to save me from myself without influencing the outcome. I think the biggest issue I had with all of this situation is loving others more than myself and not being able to love myself first above other things. I think that's the lesson. It is. It is. Because at the end of the day, if you want to wield power, you need to be in control of your power, my sweetheart. But you can't be in control of your power if you are giving it to people who are abusing you. If you are giving it to entities who are trying to suck it all away, right? It's like literally, if I were to say, hey, Amishtal, help change the world for me. Help me on this quest. Let's heal people as we go. But you're going to need this much energy in the ethereal. And you're like, okay, except for you have all of your energy. Let's say it's money. Let's say I'm like, hey, we need $10,000 to heal the world. And I'm like, here's your $10,000, which you earned through your hard inner work and through your positivity and your love and your light. But every time you stay with your husband, $500 gets taken away from you. And it's kind of like, no, you've got to keep that. You've got to keep that for yourself. But the only way you keep it for yourself is you stop giving it away. So you do have to learn to be like, nah, I love me. I'm not giving my energy away to this shit anymore. I'm not giving my energy away to this fear and this pain and this abuse anymore. I'm keeping my money for me so I can go use it on good things, right? So that's what we have there. Ebony, you say, Kulipup, can you please tell me what my ex-husband was? After some inner work, I've had to appreciate the past for the lessons I was meant to learn. But is he a source fractal? Ebony's ex-husband was an entity of fear, hate, pain, and suffering. No, he was not, my sweet. But I'm glad he's your ex, if that helps. Jessica, you say, and the inner work over this, I can't even seem to begin healing from how bad it got. Yeah, because, Amishtal, this is deep to your core. This is a very deep hurt to your core. It is not going to go away with simple regular inner work. You know, like, oh yeah, I did inner work for like 45 minutes and it's gone. Nah. This is a repetitive action that has been repeated over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I want you to think, if you were with your husband for, let's say you're with your husband for 10 years, right? This is just an example, but I want you to kind of use this as an example here. If you're with your husband for 10 years and over 10 years you've repeatedly had physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, constantly, you've been living in a constant state of fear for 10 years that has been perpetuated over and over and over again, then that means you have 10 years worth of black glue just swirling around your heart, swirling in your vessel. So, and if I want you to think, about 45 minutes to an hour's worth of inner work will clear away 7 weeks of that black goo. Okay? So, how much inner work will be required here? Let's get the calculator up. And this is why I say it is always worth it to just say, screw it. Divided by 7. Okay, so that's 7 times 10. So it's going to take you 74 hours. 74 hours of inner work to get past this hate and pain. Okay? So that's 74 hours. That is, so let's say if we are doing this 3 times a week. Yeah, I'm totally getting the calculator out. So let's say if you're doing let's go 4 hours of inner work every week. It's going to take you 18 weeks, okay? Or 4.5 months of super inner work 4 times a week, every week for 4.5 months in order for you to clear this pain out, okay? It's not easy. It's not easy, and it has never been easy when we have taken this much abuse. Now, if you were only with your husband for like 6 months before you were like, you know what, you're an asshole and I'm leaving. Sorry, I know I cussed there. But if that was the case and you're like, no, you caused me too much fear, pain, and suffering, then it would take you much less. It would take you only a couple of days worth of inner work in order to get this cleared out. But at the end of the day, you've been with him for a long time. You have children with him. You have done so much. You have been through ups, downs. the kind of attachment that they can create within your heart, stopping you from leaving, is intense, right? So your inner work's going to go really hardcore for a while, but the sooner you get on it, the sooner you can be free of it. The sooner you can be free of it. That's all I can say on that one, my dear. Now, let's go through, why would a fractal ever actually become another being, program, or entity if they're only meant to learn lessons and develop further? Because it's all about a choice, right? That's the same kind of, it's the same kind of that thing as when you have somebody who pays $50,000 as tuition for college only to flunk out and not do anything in school, right? How many times do we know individuals who are like that? Bing, 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 bing. I do. We hear stories all the time, you know, about people who go to college and they literally do nothing. They get wasted, they party, they do something, and then they flunk out of school. And you're like, why did you even pay all that money? And it's kind of like, well, it's because it's your choice. The opportunity for learning and development is there, but you have to choose to want to learn, and you have to choose to want to develop. If you don't, you just simply stay within the frequency that you're in, or you go down. That's basically what it is. It's all about your own decisions and your own choices. Okay? So I, for example, I am aware of all of this knowledge. I, for sure as hell, will never do anything. I will never make those decisions or choices that would lead me to be in such a status of negativity that I drop back down to level 4 or level 3 and become a program. Nah. No. Right? But that's my choice. That's my decision. I choose not to be this way. I choose to be in only love and only light and spread that love and spread that light. That's my choice. You say, it seems very strange that if a fractal made these mistakes, that Source would refuse to acknowledge and salvage a piece of itself when Source loves all pieces of itself. Absolutely right. Source loves all pieces of itself. Definitely. I love everybody. However, it is the choices that you make. Free will is here for a reason. And it is free will that basically will depict whether you become the lovely light being that you are, or whether you are a program. So this is what I do, right? If I see an individual that has gained so much power, if I feel an individual has gained so much power, but there is a risk of them going back down, what I will do is I will put an automatic block on your heart to stop you from being able to access this immense power that you have, so that you can no longer feed any entities at the higher levels. Because if I didn't do that, you would get to the higher levels and you would find that you would crash very quickly if you weren't able to defend yourself against them. Right? So, and also, when there is a lesson being learned, there are mistakes which can be acknowledged and accounted for. However, when you acknowledge a mistake, but yet you continually continue to do that mistake, then it is no longer a mistake, it is a pattern of behavior. All right? It's like if you have somebody who is a compulsive gambler. If you're out with your friends and they happen to go into a casino, maybe that's a mistake. However, if you find yourself going to that casino over and over and over again, this time you lost your house, next time you lost your cars, next time you lost the birth certificates to your children, and now you've sold your children into slavery. You know, that's not a mistake. That's a habit. That's a pattern. That's where healing needs to be done. Okay? So yes, Source loves everybody. Source does not refuse to acknowledge or refuse to want to salvage a piece of itself, because you have free will. You have the choice at any given moment in day or time to choose better. Now, when you do choose better, guess what happens? Good things happen to you. And they happen to you quickly, right? Because what Source also does is go, you know what? Whatever you've done in the past, that's your lesson. That's been learned. Now let's go to the future and make good decisions and be happy and live our life through love and light. However, and if you do that, Source got you all the way because you're making good decisions. You learned your lesson. However, if you've acknowledged what you have done and you continually do that, that is your own free will. You cannot gain love energy if you continually give it to negative energy. Right? I cannot give you my love energy if you continually just simply feed it to your subconscious entities. So what I will do is I will stop giving you energy to stop you feeding your subconscious entities. And then when you start making better decisions for yourself, that love energy goes straight back to you again. And you get it. All right? You get it all. But Source will never enable you to continue on in poor patterns, in poor situations, in poor decisions that lead to nothing but the destruction of yourself. Because that's not development. That's not progression. That's not evolution. That is feeding the subconscious. That is feeding negativity. And that is feeding fear. And that's not what love is about. Love vibrates high, not vibrates low. All right? So that's what I've got for you on that one. I hope that one helps. I find it difficult to understand why at some point that fractal, as it was and is its original form, why it wouldn't be salvaged. Same thing. Again, if you've continually made poor decisions, even after being given the advice or the guidance on how to stop this, if you are continually choosing wrong, or I don't want to say wrong, but if you are continually choosing or making decisions that result in a negative outcome. So if you were to continually choose to stay with your husband, what would happen? Well, he would continually harm you. He would continually put fear into you. He would continually govern and control your actions. You would continually be in a position of distress, of fear. That would seep into your children. They would continually then be around the environment that causes fear, pain, and suffering, which then, that in turn, would then lead you, because you do have a heart which is beautiful, to feel for your children. But it would not be feelings of, I'm fancy free and in love. It would be feelings of, I fear for your safety. So still fear. So basically, it is not about what can be salvaged. It is about your free will and your decisions that you're making. Right? About that. Make good decisions and good things happen. And you say, is this one of the reasons I have both Heraldolf and Amishtal? Yeah. Remember, Heraldolf only comes to you when you have been repetitively making poor decisions. Right? Repetitively. Heraldolf does not come to those who are making good decisions all the time, because you're evolving, you're doing what you need to do. Heraldolf will literally only be with you if you are caught in a pattern or a cycle of negativity that you have found difficult to come out of, because Heraldolf will give you the tough love. Right? He'll give you the tough love. Whereas when we are source fractals of love and light, it's hard to dish out tough love. It really is hard, because we only want we're just like, we love you so much. We just want you to be safe. Please take my energy. Well, Heraldolf is like, no. Learn your damn lesson. You don't get shit until you learn your lesson. Right? And that's what we have for you on that one. So, with you taking this action, my sweetheart, to get yourself away from the negativity, to get yourself out of this cycle of abuse. And don't get me wrong, breaking cycles are hard. They're really hard. And establishing new patterns is really hard. However, once the new pattern is established and you start living within that pattern and nurturing that pattern of love and joy, and you're out of the abuse, there is nothing but wondrous good things that will come to you. Right? There is nothing I will not do to bring you everything that you want in life. anything that you can think of to manifest. If you live in love and light, I will get that in your path for you. Consider it done. You just gotta make better choices, sweetheart. That's all it is. All it is. So let's have a look at these. So, Jessica, you say, was 4 years and friends for 20. 20 years. Jeez. 20 years. So, of course, you have a very, very strong connection just through friendship. Right? But that was the example. I want you, like, so it's been 4 years, right? Let's do some math. Let's see how much, so instead of 4.5 months, if we put that down, if we kind of half that, get 2 months. 2 months. 2 months of inner work is what you need to do. So if you start on this inner work now and like totally seriously trying to clear out everything, by the new year, you should be a new Amish toll, right? Free of it. And then you look back at the situation and you'll be like, what the shit was I thinking for so many years? Ha! You know? And life becomes really, really wonderful at that time. Ebony, you say, holy hell, Kulipup, you hit the nail on the head. Thank you, love. Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. It's easy to see what happens when you got the information. That's the reason. Sorry, Jessica, you say, that's the reason for all the threes surrounding it, even down to my address. Yes. Take care of yourself, woman. Take care of yourself. Jessica, you say, thank you for this, by the way. It has helped exponentially in my understanding, and I'm grateful for this and you and your effort. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I'm happy. I just want you to be happy, and I want you to be safe, and I want you to be well. Oh, agreed. Once is a mistake, twice is a choice, right? Wesley, or a compulsive liar. I really need to read these comments in context. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Patricia, you say, there are real mistakes versus what we think our mistakes are. Yes, definitely. That comes with the awareness, right? So many people don't realize they're making a mistake because it's not common, right? I have to check every single thought that I have, every single thought that comes through my mind. I have to check it to ensure that this is a thought that is the truth of my heart, that it has nothing to do with negativity, nothing at all. Because if I do have one that even goes down the line, like I have to check my sarcastic thoughts. And I'm a sarcastic person, right? Because I'm like, wait, no, wipe that off. Wipe that off. I'm not writing that into existence. You know? Because don't take it seriously. Don't take it seriously, right? There are definitely mistakes that we think we make and that we don't know, and they're just patterns. Patricia, you say, for example, I do not know the truth about myself, so I accept lies about myself. This is my real error. Oh, Patricia, that was freaking spot freaking on. Thank you very much. That is what pretty much the population goes through, right? I'm just going to reread that there because, again, Patricia, I think that is a wonderful statement. For example, I do not know the truth about myself, so I accept lies about myself. This is my real error. Yes, lack of self-trust. And the only way you learn about yourself is by going into yourself, by meditating, by understanding you without all of the programmed illusions as to what society wants you to be. Those are the lies, right? Accept the beauty, accept the faults, accept everything about yourself. Know the truth of yourself, and that way you can never accept anybody else's lies because you'll tell them to bugger off, right? It's beautiful. And watch how your power just like literally just goes through the roof. Ah, wonderful. Jessica, yeah, Heraldolf is really good at tough love. I know. I'm going to do, because I know I have another lady who wanted me to do a video on the angels of death. So Heraldolf, Orotlis, gosh, all their names, shit. Sorry, I have their names. But I will literally do a live on that so we can understand what the tough love is and no doubt how they turn it around when you gain more power too. It's just like, Jesus. Anyway, another video on that one. Wesley, you say, me, 22 years. Oh, Wesley, I don't know what in context. I want to answer you, but I need context. I talk about so much stuff. I'm so lost. I'm sorry, sweetie. Jessica, you say, may I message you about manifesting the positive outcome I want? Of course you can. I'm actually going to be doing a live lesson on energy flow for the energy flow individuals we have in the group. So, you know what, Jessica, maybe you will be our demonstration example for energy flow, how we can open up and manifest for you. Patricia, you say, thank you. Oh, thank you, Patricia, for the wonderful, such clarity in the self-observation. That was absolutely beautiful. So I thank you. Ebony, you say, breaking cycles can be scary and challenging. However, when you change the pattern of believing lies, everything does come together. I'm truly living this transformation right now. I'm learning that ego can put me back on a path of suffering if we allow it, but I won't. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Do you know how wonderful it is? And and this is just going off of, again, my earlier post to the group. How beautiful it is as a teacher to give this information out and see such wonderful development. Literally individuals who came who are just like, I don't really know, I'm kind of going through a hard time and confusion, to come out and just be dishing out this wisdom like nobody's freaking business. I'm like, share that shit. You know, shit. Everybody needs this right now. Like, if you are admiring my words and my truth, I'm admiring yours. I am admiring your words and your truth. Please share it. What you have to say is beautiful and it is valid. And please share it. That's all I can say. Orca, you say, yes, if you can do more manifestation videos, that would be great. I will. Because not only do I want to show people, especially if you are sentient, how you can feel the flow of energy, but then definitely showing other individuals just how it works too, which is great. So thank you, Orca. I definitely will do so because I think we all need to know this. So that is what I have for you in this live right now. I have went crazy on my lives. I'm going to be coming back to you with a couple more. Now, I would like to thank, so we're going to go with energy versus program versus source fractal in the next one. But also, I've got some really, really great questions from Beta, who posted these in the group. Now, I love these questions just because I thought that they go in depth, and I think they're going to help a lot of people. But Beta, you said, what is everyone's opinion on this? How much is too much? Are wireless devices like printers bad? Cell phones safe? You know, Fitbits, smartwatches, microwaves. What are we putting into our body? So I definitely want to address that one. I think that was great. So Reiki, learning in the group. You know, after you saw a live that I did, it seems a little bit pointless. So running through some things with some members to see what we think. Yeah, definitely. Let's address Reiki as well, because I know it's so popular, and I can't stand when I'm seeing people charge for this, or having, like, literally spending money to gain a certification for using your own energy. That's like literally paying somebody to tell you how to see. Not to make you see, but just to tell you, like, open your eyes, right? It is like, why do we need to pay anybody for this? It's one of the natural things your body does. So I wanted to go through that. And also there was, admins are really pushing a lot of shielding techniques and articles. My question is, do we need it? As we raise our vibrations, do we need to protect ourselves from those that may be drawing energy from us? If we have source energy, then there would be an unlimited supply of it, right? Right? Is that a sound logic? What do you think? Again, a great question. Beta, you come with so many awesome questions, and I absolutely love it. Because, I really think a lot of people would benefit from these. And lastly, has anyone done a reading for an entity? Should we do them? If not, how do we say no? A lady wants a relationship reading. I can do these based on Akashic records, but if she doesn't have a soul, I will not find anything there. How do I handle this request? Right? Great question, because I know definitely I've been in that situation where I'm like, hey, I'll give a reading out, and then not even realizing it, and then an entity comes up. I'm like, oh shit, what do I do with you? because I can't give you too much in-depth information. So that is the next live coming at you. I'm going to rehydrate, go pee, maybe have a little bit of a nibble, and I will be back in approximately 30 minutes, and we're going to do another live to answer those fabulous questions. So I will see you soon. Bye-bye, sweethearts.